13. Of all the numbers I could have chosen, I went with 13. Yeah, I know what you're thinking, and you're not wrong. But here's the thing, in Star Citizen, luck isn't about avoiding danger. It's about picking the right ship before the danger even shows up. So today, we're counting down the luckiest 13 ships you can fly in patch 4.8. And by the end of this list, you might just start to believe that 13 is the luckiest number in the verse. Or you won't. Honestly, fair either way. Let's get into it. Star Citizen's patch 4.8 is here, and whether you're a fresh pilot still staring at your first Avenger wondering what the hell a quantum drive does, or a seasoned captain who's lost 3 Polaris corvettes to server crashes and still came back for more, this list is for you. These are the ships that will keep you ahead of the pack, the ones that make the grind feel less like work and more like, well, a really expensive hobby. Now, a quick heads up before we dive in. Some of these ships might not be viable in-game right now, a few are limited sale items, others come and go with events, but don't let that stop you from knowing what to aim for, because knowledge is half the battle in this game. The other half is not getting interdicted while hauling a full load of gold to Hurston. Alright, ship number 13, let's start small. The Aegis Avenger Titan, the little ship that started everything. You didn't think I'd leave out this classic, did you? Look, I know what you're thinking. Number 13, you're putting the Avenger at number 13, and yes I am, because that's where we start the climb, at the bottom of the lucky list, at the ship that launched 1,000 careers. The Avenger Titan is the cheapest ship on the list, but cheap doesn't mean weak. This little Aegis workhorse is the perfect entry-level solo ship. Light freight, box missions, bounties, bunker runs. It'll do all of it without asking for much in return. You can stuff a hoverbike in the back and suddenly you've got ground mobility too. It's scrappy, it's reliable, and most importantly, it's yours when you've got nothing else. Every legend in this game started somewhere, and for a lot of us, it started right here. Lucky number 13 couldn't be more fitting. Number 12, the Drake Cutlass Black. When noobs become pilots, the most legendary step-up ship in all of Star Citizen. If the Avenger is where you survive, the Cutlass Black is where you start to thrive. It's a medium multi-role freight ship, and I want to stress that word, multi-role, because this thing does everything. You want cargo? Done. You need to carry a rock mining vehicle to go scrap minerals off a moon? Done. Co-pilot gunner in the top turret? Done. Bounties? Oh, absolutely done. Big VTOL thrusters give it surprising muscle for a ship this size. It can haul, it can fight, and it looks mean doing both. Drake builds ships for people who can't afford to be picky, and somehow that makes the Cutlass Black one of the most beloved ships in the game. The luck is already improving, isn't it? Number 11, the MISC Razor EX, ghost of the racetracks and everywhere else. Racing is coming back to Star Citizen, and when it does, oh when it does, the Razor EX is going to absolutely sing. But here's the thing, even without racing being fully live right now, the Razor EX earns its place on this list for a completely different reason: stealth. This is one of the stealthiest ships in the entire game. If you need to get in and out of hostile locations fast, this is your ride. Small enough to be tucked inside a larger ship and used as a scout or rapid escape vehicle, the Razor EX is the kind of ship that makes other players ask, wait, where did they go? And yes, it looks absolutely incredible. In this game, that matters more than you'd think. Fast, stealthy, and beautiful. The Razor EX is what luck looks like at speed. Number 10, the Anvil F7 CS Hornet Ghost Mark II, the shadow in the sky. Have you ever been in a dogfight where you never even saw the ship that killed you? Yeah, that was probably someone flying this. The F7 CS Hornet Ghost Mark II is the ultimate stealth fighter in Star Citizen right now. A medium combat ship built entirely around the art of ambush, low emissions, reduced radar cross-section, and enough firepower to end the conversation before it starts. This ship is for players who think before they shoot, who understand that in PvP the first shot often decides everything, and with the Ghost Mark II you get to decide when that shot happens. They never see you coming, and in this game that's not just lucky, that's surgical. Number 9. The Anvil Terrapin Medic, the ship that keeps you alive to fly again. Here's the truth that every experienced Star Citizen player knows. The most important ship in your fleet isn't always the flashiest one. It's the one that keeps you in the fight. The Terrapin Medic is one of the toughest, most maneuverable medical ships in the game. It heals up to tier 2 injuries, no hospital run needed, and more importantly, it acts as a respawn point wherever you park it in the system. Let me say that again. Park it, leave it in orbit, die in some bunker on Lyria, come back to your ship. That is not a small thing. That is the difference between a mission completion and a 2-hour walk of shame back to civilization. The Terrapin Medic doesn't get the glory, but it absolutely gets the gratitude. Number 8. The MISC Hull-B. More cargo than you know what to do with. If you're in the hauling business or thinking about getting into it, stop looking around. This is your ship. The MISC Hull-B is the best medium freighter in the game, full stop. Its external storage configuration means loading and unloading it is fast, efficient, and satisfying in a way that only cargo haulers truly understand. The cargo capacity relative to its size is remarkable. It punches well above its weight class. And for players who want to build credits through legitimate or semi-legitimate commerce, the Hull-B is essentially a money printing machine, provided you don't get blown up on the way. And with enough luck and the right escort, you usually won't. Number 7. The Mirai Guardian MX, the brawler you didn't see coming. Okay, I want to talk about the Guardian MX for a second, because this ship genuinely surprises people. It's a heavy combat fighter built to take punishment and dish out more. It's got blast shields, solid armor, plenty of firepower, and enough maneuverability for its size to make larger ship captains super nervous. Need to take down a bounty that's flying something big? The Guardian MX is what you want. It can pound on targets that smaller fighters can't safely engage, while still being nimble enough to avoid the worst of the incoming fire. But honestly, the main reason the Guardian MX is on this list is simpler than all of that. It's just really fun to fly, and in Star Citizen that matters. Okay, we passed the halfway point. Lucky us. I want to take a break here because the ships from this point on, well, these aren't just good ships. These are the kind of ships that change how you play the game, the kind that make other players stop and take notice, the kind that frankly no one person should probably be trusted with, which is exactly why I'm recommending them to you. Oh, and if you like this kind of content, please like, share, or subscribe. It supports the channel and me more than you'd realize. Top 6, let's go. Number 6, the Esperia Prowler utility, the art of not being seen. The Esperia Prowler is one of those ships that the community doesn't always shout about, but the players who use it, they know. This is the stealthiest large cargo ship in Star Citizen, built for smuggling, built for moving things that powerful people don't want to move. If you're hauling illegal cargo through hostile territory and you'd prefer that the entire UEE Navy not light you up on their scanners, the Prowler utility is your salvation. But it's not just about hiding. The Prowler also packs serious firepower and shielding, and has the speed to run if hiding stops working. It's not the flashiest ship on the list, it's not supposed to be. The best smugglers aren't famous, they're just gone. Number 5, the Anvil Asgard, a one-ship army. Anvil built this thing as a combat dropship, but calling it just a dropship is like calling the Grand Canyon just a hole. It technically applies, it misses the point entirely. The Asgard has manned turrets covering every angle. It can carry a tank, snub fighters, plus cargo in the bay, and it packs 6 shields. This is a ship that can show up to almost any situation in Star Citizen and meaningfully contribute. Rescue up, you can easily get the injured out. Assault mission, drop the tank and unload the troops. Trade convoy escort. Between the turrets and shields, anyone attacking you is going to have a very bad day. Solo pilots can even manage this beast. It's designed with versatility first. The Asgard isn't a ship, it's a tactical argument that you always win. Well, almost. Number 4. The Drake Ironclad Assault. Drake's magnum opus. The Drake Ironclad Assault is brand new in-game and it's an absolute monster. This thing is a combined arms platform, which is Drake's very military way of saying, we built a ship that can basically replace a small army. It's an armored mini fleet carrier capable of rearming, refueling, and repairing both ground vehicles and spacecraft. It has drop pods for troop assault and enough space for 4 Nova tanks. Let that sink in for a second. The Ironclad Assault doesn't participate in battles, it brings battles. Wherever it shows up, the nature of the engagement changes. And for organizations running large-scale operations, or anyone who just wants to feel like they're commanding an invasion, the ship is everything. Lucky, rather, anyone flying against you when you show up in this is the unlucky one. 3 ships left on the luckiest list, and every single one of them at this level could end a career just as easily as it makes one. That's the thing about this kind of luck. It cuts both ways, just like the number 13. Number 3. The A2 Hercules Starlifter, the flying fortress that hauls mountains. Here we have something that is, depending on who you ask, either a cargo ship or a weapon of mass destruction, possibly both. The A2 Hercules Starlifter is a massive heavy bomber. It can carry enormous amounts of cargo, land assault vehicles including the Nova tank, and is protected by heavy shielding and substantial hull armor. Multiple turrets make it what the community lovingly calls a flying fortress. The A2 excels at the intersection of logistics and war. It's the kind of ship that organizations save their credits for months to acquire, because once you have one, your operational capacity goes up by an order of magnitude. Number 2, the RSI Perseus. If there's a single ship in Star Citizen that capital ship commanders lose sleep over, it is the RSI Perseus heavy gunship. It has incredible firepower. We're talking ballistic cannons that can seriously threaten ships many times its class, and point defense turrets to shred anything smaller that tries to swarm it. There's also a pretty decent cargo space for vehicles and the kind of presence that makes people reconsider their life choices when they see it on their scanner. The Perseus is a capital ship killer that isn't a capital ship itself. It fills a role that almost nothing else in the game occupies at the moment. The apex predator in the medium to heavy space. The ship that punches so far above its weight class it's almost rude. In a game full of powerful ships, the Perseus is the one that makes the big boys nervous. Which brings us to number 1. The RSI Polaris, the ship that ends conversations. The RSI Polaris is a Corvette-class capital ship. Massive torpedoes, we're talking ordnance that can gut a capital ship in a single salvo. Point defense cannons that turn incoming missiles into debris fields. Well-armored hull, a small fighter hangar for support craft, an onboard medical bay to treat injuries and serve as a respawn point for the whole crew. The Polaris is versatile in the way that only the best capital ships can be. It can hunt, defend, support, and it can absolutely devastate. Lucky number 1 on the unluckiest number list. You know, when we started this list, I told you 13 was the lucky number in the verse, and you probably thought I was setting up some kind of joke. I wasn't, because look at what we just went through. 13 ships from the humble Avenger to the mighty Polaris, and every single one of them is a tool. A beautiful, lethal, absurd, expensive, magnificent tool for surviving and thriving in one of the most complex and punishing games ever made. Luck in Star Citizen isn't about something that happens to you, it's something you build with the right ship, knowledge, and decision at the right moment. And now you have both. Still think 13 is unlucky? Drop your favorite from the list, or least favorite, in the comments below. Check out this video next, and remember, whether you're flying an Avenger or a Polaris, smile. The verse is what you make.